Hello, welcome to my channel, Winged Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning into the day's energy, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Thank you all so much for showing up. Thank you for all your comments and likes, helping me grow this channel. Thank you. There are a few spots left if you're interested in the intro healer class with me. It starts on June 2nd, Monday. So if you've been on the fence and interested, this is last call. And there's only a couple spots left. So I'll be offering this class again. So if it's not the right time for you, then that's fine. Trust the timing, trust the situation. All right. I'll put a link in the description box if anybody is interested in checking out the healer class. Okay, let's dive right into your reading here. Feels like a lot of people's energy. All right, in the overall energy, we have the Page of Wands. This is someone going after their highest excitement. Not much of a plan other than that, just someone journeying, going after what makes them happy, what is their highest excitement. All right. It's a great beginning. So where do we go from here? What does the viewer need to know about this energy? Oh, Five of Swords. Bullying energy. Okay, so someone's going after their highest excitement, and someone wants to bully this person. Why are they bullying? This does feel like there's a lot of people, other energies. Six of Swords in reverse. Someone doesn't want this Page of Wands to get to calmer grounds. They don't want them to move on. They want them anxious, belittled, subservient, less than. Okay, so first thing I'm getting from this Five of Swords character is that it's like no one else has permission to be happy, to go after their excitement other than this person. They need to be the boss. Okay, I haven't seen a king card, but this reminds me of this Five of Swords energy as someone who's like, I'm the king. That was even in Game of Thrones. Or I'm the king. Anyone who needs to yell that I'm the king is not the person that's in power. So this person manipulates others through their insecurities. They need to be seen as powerful, but they don't really have any real power other than blocking others. Boy, this is quite a story. All right, so why are we seeing this Star card? Oh. You know what? This could be from family of origin. Someone was a bully in your family of origin, and Page of Wands is a youthful energy. I get the feeling you might have had a sibling or someone in your environment who really bullied you. They needed to be the grand poobah. I'm the king. This is someone who So it feels like growing up, you're walking on eggshells because this person, if they don't feel, if you're shining too much, or if they're insecure, or they just make something up of some type of slight that because they don't know how to deal with their emotions. This isn't someone mature. This is a bully. This is someone who's raised to believe that power and throwing your power around is how things are done. What's interesting with the star card coming out is I get the feeling like I'm talking to someone who shines, who has healing qualities, and it feels like this person's just constantly poking at you, constantly taking you down a notch, constantly taking out their frustrations and their insecurities on you. It feels like you're having to really dim your light to make the people around you, especially this person, feel comfortable. This person is such a small, insecure bully that you really have to shrink yourself down a lot. You can't shine in front of this type of energy. It feels like this goes on for a long time. It just, Three of Wands in reverses, it's just taking forever to stuck in this type of energy. Whew. All right, why is this showing up? Why is this showing up now? Oh. Judgment and the Lovers. Someone's having an awakening. Feels like you have definitely had an awakening, viewer. Feels like you've chosen a different way of showing up in the world. Also, with Judgment, the people are being called from an angel, an angel's blowing their horn and calling these people out of the coffins behind them, calling them out of a life that's way too small because you had to shrink down to not outshine someone who's insecure and a bully. It looks like you decided at some point here, started making a choice. Choosing yourself. Stop trying to make someone who's so insecure comfortable. Stop shrinking down to make yourself more palatable for insecure small minds. It looks like I'm tuned into a time where you are choosing you, you're choosing your light. Feels like when you finally give yourself permission to expand to your comfortable position. Ooh, it feels like this person also doesn't want you to talk, has really tried to limit your voice. That might have been a part of your bullying, like something like they don't want you to talk. They don't want you to voice your opinions. Ooh, this person now, because we're looking back at family of origin, you're an adult now. So this person feels very uncomfortable with you airing truths about their behavior that they felt very confident with in the past. So that tells me that if this person doesn't want you airing the truth about their treatment of you, then they always knew that their treatment of you was incorrect. That it's something that makes them feel ashamed, guilty, because it was incorrect. So it feels like you also were told you're not allowed to tell about what's going on, keeping the family lie, keeping that uncomfortable truth. All right, why is this showing up? Sun in reverse. The hidden, something that, it feels like this has been hidden. Maybe you kept the silence, kept quiet about this bully. Wow, interesting. It also feels like it's impossible to be happy in this type of environment where someone is bullying you and you're constantly in that stage of fight, flight, freeze, fawn. It feels like it's going on maybe the entire time in your youth. Maybe you also were very unhappy growing up because you were keeping a family secret of being kind of, for some of you, this got really bad. It's like serious. This isn't someone hurting your feelings. This is someone that feels very confident in treating you in the worst ways, physically, mentally, emotionally. And so of course that's going to have an impact on your well-being, on your happiness. Feels like you're trying to find happiness, trying to heal this situation, trying to make it work. Maybe at some point you had this belief like, we'll work this out. I'll get healing and understanding from the bully and from the bullies. That's what this feels like, a confusion that your job was never to heal this connection, to try to get your bully to give you anything. I think the lesson here is realizing, oh, this is a bully. It feels difficult and confusing because of some type of family connection, some type of relationship. So interesting. Okay, let's look at what's hidden. We've got the Page of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Wands in reverse. That's the bully. The Page of Swords in reverse could be a air sign. It feels like there's a Queen of Wands in reverse, an insecure feminine energy. This could be a mom, someone who has who's calling the shots. And it feels like this Queen of Wands in reverse is teaching this person to be a bully and bullying you. This is how you regulate yourself. This is how... I'm also getting maybe the Queen of Wands in reverse is so insecure and so unhappy and jealous. It feels like both of these people are not on your side. Feels like the people that you called family in your family of origin are insecure bullies. They don't want you to shine. They can't stand when you shine, when you're yourself. And so you get just constantly bullied, blamed. It's your fault. Scapegoat energy. You know, this Page of Swords in reverse, this Five of Swords person is scary because they believe that they have the right to hurt you. And it looks like it's being okayed by someone in the family. Mother, grandmother, some feminine energy who's wildly insecure. And it's like she's created this person as a personal bully to do her bidding kind of energy. This feels so specific. I feel like this was very confusing growing up. A fog of confusion, because on the one hand you're taught that these people are your family and that you need to love and care for them and uplift them. So it feels like it's very confusing because you're being abused, period. You're being scapegoated. You're also, it feels like you need to put on a good pretense that you're happy with it too. There's also there's no change. It feels like you just keep trying to heal the situation. You keep trying to create a healing between you and these toxic family members who are bullying you. It looks like not until you give yourself permission to hermit, to go no contact with these people and get some distance from them, then it feels like then you start realizing the madness. Then you become enlightened and see that see the toxic structures, how they were bullying you to make themselves feel better. It feels like that's what they do. They don't know how to regulate their emotions, their feelings. They're very immature. Very immature. And instead of learning how to sit with emotions, how to sit with uncomfortable feelings, they lash out and blame you, blame others, blame you, and then you just take it. You tolerate it, you take it, and so they feel relief. For them, this pattern just feels like another Tuesday. So they don't even remember. But for you, it is creating so much trauma, so much neglect, so much abuse, so much hurt, so much betrayal. And nobody's talking about it, so it feels hidden. It feels like very confusing because there's no repair. So everybody, after you are hurt, irreparably hurt, then everybody just goes back to normal because they feel better. They've got that emotional release, and you're now burdened with the hurt and the pain that they were feeling. Now they've transferred it to you to carry. Holy cow. Okay. Why is this showing up now? Why is this showing up in this reading now? Or what's in... Yes. 6 of Cups. This is family energy. This is treating you as less than. I'm really cold here. I really want to come up and be dry and comfortable. What's wrong with you that you don't accept this? Why do you always ruin everything? Why? So this person that's dry, a bully, thinks that you having needs and wants and you not liking your life and not being overjoyed with the experiences that you have created, you're the problem. You also know where all the bodies are buried. You have secrets of their atrocious behavior. I mean, this is really atrocious. Okay. So, what? I'm still I feel like I'm getting a clear picture of who this reading is for, but I'm not quite sure. Okay, there we go. It looks nice. There we go. It looks like at some point with the Ten of Wands in reverse, you stop carrying the burdens of this family. It is not your job to carry the secrets. It's not your job to carry the pain, the stories. It feels like you're letting go of this story, of this energy. Looks like you have learned how to create for yourself. And what you are creating, what you've created is a new timeline. Oh, you're breaking free from a generational pattern. Doesn't look like you are carrying this bullying energy. You're not allowing, like, well, I just, an excuse. You're not excusing your behavior. You're accountable, is what that feels like. And so you've changed destiny. You've taken control of the Wheel of Fortune, and you've created luck on your side. And then with the Death card in reverse and Tower reversed, this doesn't feel like your energy. It feels like it's back to this duo, the Queen of Wands in reverse and Page of Swords in reverse. They can't let this end. They definitely don't want to take any accountability. They felt very entitled in their treatment of you, and this is a gaslighting team. Oh, their false reality is collapsing with the Tower. They're trying to keep this false, their whatever story they have going on about you provoked it, you deserved it, whatever the story is, it's collapsing, it's falling apart. It feels like, it doesn't feel like you're saying anything. I'm not seeing that. You are unburdening yourself, but it feels internal. Like I'm just letting go. I'm letting go of the hurt and the pain because I'm tired of carrying it. The anger, tired of carrying what happened. And it looks like when you energetically let go and stop carrying the family wounds, stop thinking about it, stop going over it in your head, then it's no longer yours. You're just letting it go. You've learned what you needed to learn from it, that these are not your friends. These people, no matter what their connection is to you, their treatment of you chronically has shown you more than enough of who they are. And so the choice, the healing, is you making a different choice and not choosing people who don't like you, who don't treat you correctly. It doesn't matter what they are to you, what label that is. And I think what I'm seeing here is once you just let go, it's not mine to carry. There's something that happens energetically here is what I'm picking up on. Not only does that allow you to move on from this, but it feels like it gives that energy, that story back to them. It was never yours to hold and process. Feels like that might be a family dynamic of having someone in the family be a scapegoat to hold all the trauma. But if you refuse to hold it, then where does that energy go? If you're not playing with that energy, if you're not talking to it, if you're not trying to figure it out, if you're like, I'm done with this. I've learned all that I need to learn, and I'm not going to carry the burdens of this family secret. It feels like their energy goes back to them. That's very interesting. Ooh, Queen of Wands in reverse again. So whoever set up this bullying, feeling very insecure, feeling the weight of what you've been carrying. Once you process it enough, once you decide to let go, when you've healed enough, and realize that the healing isn't to try to make peace between you and your bullies and the people that hurt you. This reminds me of years ago. I had, this is a trigger warning. Someone, a mother, came to me, and their teenage daughter had been abused. And she said, we just really want the abuser to, she's really wanting to understand and communicate and be able to heal. And she can't do that without understanding why and how it happened and da 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 da. I was like, wow, that reminds me of this energy. Trying to find a healing and understanding so you can heal from the people and person who hurt you. That's not what the lesson is that I'm perceiving here. What the lesson is recognizing that someone is not for you. They don't have to be a bad person or a monster. This behavior is unacceptable. It feels like you were trained to you need to be happy with this treatment. It creates dissociation, trying to make it make sense what they're saying to you, and then the treatment that you're receiving is, and then to keep it all a secret so they can continue to hurt you. It's a lot to unpack. And it looks like by you letting go of this story, you've processed it all, you understand it in the sense that you recognize, oh, people who treat me this way don't like me, or they're not for me. I don't need an excuse or a reason to tolerate bad behavior towards me. I don't need to put up with it. Okay, so the Queen of Wands in reverse is very in a comfort zone, stuck, fearful. It looks like because you've leveled up, because you've released this energy. Such a bully. So what I'm tuned into is this Queen of Wands in reverse in what's hidden is terrified because you've released the burdens of this, because you've leveled up, it looks like. And in their mindset, from their mind frame, from a bully's limited, perspective, revenge. That's what they would want. They would want revenge. They would want to make someone pay. This is a very punishing energy, cruel, coercive. So this person is fearful of your retaliation. What's interesting is that it feels like you're not doing anything. You're just focusing on you and self-love and letting this go. But there's this Queen of Wands in reverse is just terrified because that's what she would do. Because Queen of Wands reverse. It doesn't, okay, I've got another story about revenge and the best kind of revenge. This takes me back to college in the dorms. My roommate, best friend, and I shared a room in the dorm, and then we had guy friends. amazing guy friends. And we played a prank on them. It was a year of pranking. Everybody was pranking each other, and my roommate and I were like, let's get in on this pranking stuff. And I think we put something underneath one of their mattresses, something stinky. So over time, I mean, it was a slow burn. It took a while for him to realize that we had messed with his mattress and the stink in his room and all that. And so two of our guy friends ran into our room, our dorm room, and locked the door. And we were on the outside going, oh my gosh, so what are they going to do? And so we're sitting there for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like imagining what are they doing in the room? Where are they going through our stuff? Are they, and we're just like begging them to open the door. And finally they open the door and they're just smirking and sitting on our beds. And we're like, okay, they did something. And so we just spent so much time, mental time, talking about, trying to figure out, looking around, trying to see what trap they had set for us as revenge. And finally, weeks later, we're like, you guys, you've got to tell, what did you do to our room? We haven't found it, and we're terrified when we're going to find it. And finally, one of my friends was like, we didn't do anything. We just sat on your beds because we knew you would overthink it, and that's the best revenge. So that's what I feel like is the best revenge for this person, is just let them mentally torture themselves. I don't feel like you are doing anything to create some type of revenge scenario, but this person is just in their head thinking of all the possibilities and all, what they would do if they were you, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. So, all right, let's move on. So many stories from the past. All right. In the outcome and advice, we have the Four of Pentacles reverse, Queen of Cups reverse, with the Three of Cups coming as a challenge to this energy. Four of Pentacles in reverse or upright. This person is holding, clinging, cleaving to the Four of Pentacles, thinking this is as good as it gets. I can't let go. I'm afraid that I need to hold on to these Four Pentacles. I feel like you held on to this family dynamic because it was foundational. It was all that you knew. And so you were trying to make the best of a terrible situation. But once you realize that they were taking advantage of your kindness, your sweetness, feels like they not only abused you to make themselves feel better, but then gaslit you, made you feel guilty and ashamed for not being happy. This is someone chronically taking advantage of someone. This feels like learned helplessness. Learned helplessness, PTSD, kind of having, not being so hurt, so confused, and trying to make sense of a nonsensical situation. Feels like constantly hurting your emotions, constantly making you feel wounded, hurting you. And then it's so confusing because it feels like after the abuse, then things pop back to normal and everybody's acting like nothing ever happened because it's just another Tuesday for them. But for you, you are traumatized and hurt and wounded, and nobody's talking about what just happened. and it's a very confusing situation. Feels like it's been a challenge for you to find friendships, to find people who like you, celebrate you, uplift you, want you to shine, want you to be yourself. Oh, it feels like it's been a challenge to let go of the belief systems. Feels like you might have attracted people like the Queen of Wands reversed and the Page of Swords reversed in your life because that's what you thought support was. That's what you were told family is. And so you might have attracted a lot of friendships and romantic partners because this is so confusing in your unconscious. And so your unconscious is trying to make sense of it, trying to heal from that trauma. Feels like you have always wanted this Three of Cups, family, celebration, some upliftment, people who celebrate you. So you don't have to show up in a prescribed way to please others and might be turned against. But just so people who like you, people who want you to shine, want you to succeed. Yeah, this duo, it feels like whenever you had a win, a victory, they were there to just bring you down a notch. That feels like the Queen of Wands in reverse. Someone very jealous, someone who doesn't know how to shine themselves. And so they have very competitive, envious energy. All right. Outcome and advice. Why? Any last messages for the viewer? Four of Wands. A lot of fours coming in. It looks like you're creating a new foundation for yourself. Clearing out this way of being, of tolerating. I think you're finally seeing it for what it is and for who these people really are, and realizing that you can't get the healing from them, that you're, even though you are not responsible as a child for how you were treated, and you're doing the best you could as an adult, it's our responsibility to heal. So it feels like you've done a lot of healing, focusing on creating a stability for yourself, creating your own world where you are loved, where you can be yourself, where you go after your highest excitement and you aren't bullied for it, where you aren't scapegoated by others, where you don't have someone constantly sabotaging you and then turning around and gaslighting you and saying, why can't you be happy? Why can't you let this go? Why can't you just move on from this? Well, because that tells me without accountability, without you accepting accountability and showing me that you really understand what you put me through, then I don't trust that you've learned, you haven't shown me that you've changed. So you are still the same person until you show me differently. So that's why no relationship. All right. It looks like you're finding happiness, going after what you desire, healing from the wounds that were caused. Feels like you are still very sweet and kind, but you're not a sucker. You're not just going to give it away to anybody. And also it looks like you've learned discernment. And it doesn't matter what someone says. I'm this to you. I'm that to you. Yeah, I'm not happy around you. It feels like you've had to heal from a lot of emotional wounds, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of neglect, a lot of abuse, a lot of trauma. with that, though, it feels like you've processed through, and it feels like you're putting this behind you in a really powerful way. You're not seeking revenge and back in this energy. It's like you're letting go and so tired of the story and wanting to create something new for yourself. That's what it feels like. So, all right, that's, wow, 40 minutes. That's your reading. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for being here. Take care.